Hello, everybody. Hope everyone's having a great night. Um, Obviously, a lot of crazy news in the week, but this is our sports show, so we'll just be talking about sports. This is our 26th episode of a sports show. It is 9/11 though, September 11th. Obviously, 2025, so the 24th anniversary of 9/11. Also, next year will be the 25th, obviously, on America's 250th anniversary. I kind of thought that was a little crazy, but sorry. Let's just try to do a quick moment of silence for all those lives lost in 9/11 during the attacks, and then also the first responders, the fire, EMS, police, engineers, civilians that just went and tried to help out and passed on the scene from cancers after that. Thank you. We should be able to try to get Hunter today. He said his Discord was acting up. Sorry about that. My throat's a little graggly today. Don't forget below, we have a few results from the race last weekend at Monza. Ferrari did not do too well. Wah, but I'm still going to wear it for Ferrari in Italy. Hopefully Hunter can get in here. We'll have to see. Above us, we have scores from NHL. We have Washington playing Green Bay, it looks like 0-0. And then the matchups for the rest of the week. Right now, the Guardians are losing to the Royals 2-1 at the end of the fifth. Cleveland's currently right now 74-71. The Guardians. I'm sorry, the Royals are 74-72. So they have one more loss than us. After this series, we play the White Sox, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. We lost to the Royals yesterday and beat them the last two games on Monday and Tuesday. So hopefully we can beat this and win the series, not tie the series. We can't be tying the series right now, but we'll be talking about that a little bit more later. Our first topic is a funny topic, which is about the Philadelphia home run ball stealing controversy. Sorry, Texan Hunter. During the Phillies Marlins game, a father caught a home run ball and handed it to his young son. Before the boy could celebrate, a nearby woman claimed the ball was hers and demanded it back. Under pressure, the dad reluctantly gave it up, leaving the kid visibly heartbroken. Cameras caught in the moment and quickly went viral. Fans online exploded with outrage after a woman for stealing a kid's joy. We have seen this a lot, though, in the last couple of years. For some reason, I'm not saying it doesn't make it bad, it's still bad. For some reason, adults at these games feel like they matter as much as kids, and I get it. You know, if you're an adult, but I don't get stealing from a kid. But I do get being emotional about a ball, I guess. If you're an adult and you never got one, but you're also an adult, so maybe sit back. I know, if the adults have booze when the kids don't, but that's not really an excuse to me. You do need to be more mature. Um, Social media branded it as one of the most lowest fan moves of the season. If you don't remember, I think Pittsburgh, that guy fell on his neck and broke his neck for trying to grab the ball. And there's been people stealing balls from kids straight out of their hands too sometimes in the past. The Philadelphia organization stepped in, making it right by gifting a boy signed gear and memorabilia. I believe a bat and some hats, probably a jersey. That's awesome. A ball is cool and all, but getting all of that makes it kind of better. The situation sucks, but he probably got a ball now and more, so that's really nice. That's for civility in people. Even opposing fans chimed in, saying the kid's first home run ball should always stay with them. It sparked a bigger controversy about a ballpark etiquette. Like what happens the last couple times. Who really owns the home run ball? The person who first catches it, or the person who insists it landed near them? Which is interesting because, like, this new, if it lands near me, it's mine. I don't really believe that because, and maybe it's being ableist. It really shouldn't be because handicapped people are normally in their own sections in ballparks. But like, if you're slow, that's kind of your fault. And like, part of the fun part about baseball, and sometimes it's not like, I'm not saying if you're slow, handicap wise. I'm saying as a normal person. And then the fun part about baseball parks is grabbing those balls. People like to get those home run bleacher seats and then run up, run and try to grab them. So if we try to do a new etiquette where it's just, where it lands, everyone's going to be sitting in their seats and just trying to get a home run. Which is still cool, but like we need that etiquette up there. And if it's not, let it go back to be what it used to be, and kind of like a free for all. Because I think that's what C was saying. The local tie-in, Cleveland fans know his feeling too. We've seen scramble moments at Guardians games where emotions ran high, but here in Northeast Ohio, most fans agree. If a kid gets a ball, you should let them keep it. I agree, it's basic magic, part of the ball game. And I'm someone that I don't like baseball too much unless there's a star player I loved, and I caught a home run ball. I'd probably be giving it to a kid if there's one next to me. So that's just sad. She was saying, I don't know if she held it first and then dropped it, or if it just landed by her, because from what I've seen, it's just for post video. But there should be video of for home run from the actual broadcaster. I just haven't seen that. I also haven't seen video before. I saw a video of a ball was on the ground. Dude walked up, picked it up, gave it to his kid, and she came up screaming at him. Hunter said he's trying to restart his device, so I'm going to skip the Browns part and let him talk about that a little bit. I'm going to go into NASCAR and IndyCar. IndyCar's in the off season. And I don't think there's been major moves yet. I could look that up real quick. Yeah, it's just about, Connor Daly trying to get into next year's spot. I guess they're talking about next year's finale. I was talking to my girlfriend about this. Very interesting about IndyCar. Because Fox owns part of IndyCar now. I don't know if it's 20 or 30%. We talked about it a couple episodes ago. And the World Cup's happening next year. IndyCar is not going to be as short a season like it was this year. IndyCar was a very short, mostly summer races, lots to back, because they don't want these to overlap for views. They're actually going to try to space it out. So, I guess what's happening is they're thinking about getting rid of Tennessee for the finale, and that Laguna Seca will be a finale. And they might get rid of Mexico. Or they could do Laguna Seca and then Mexico after, and have the trucks drive from Laguna Seca and California to New Mexico. I think this will keep the Mexico race because of Alex Palou. Sorry, not Pato O'Ward, the guy I like. And because of the whole Sergio Perez and F1. Being at these races, there's people that wear F1 gear to IndyCar races. I wore a shirt on the Saturday to IndyCar with my at 5500 this year, with my same hat matching because obviously it's qualifications for F1, qualifications for Indy of a week before. So it's really just looking around. I got to meet Mario Andretti in Italian gear, which is awesome. Go to museums and stuff. Probably won't do the same thing next year. But going to Mid-Ohio last year, I saw people in Max Verstappen gear and F1 gear, Sergio Perez gear. Saw the same this year at the Indy 500. So there's a lot of fans that like both, just like me, and that's why we go over it, and why we cover both sports. These are both good sports to me. I do like IndyCar and I do like F1. Just before I forget, I do need to share this link to a show to my mom because she doesn't know how Facebook works or YouTube. Lewis Foster won Rookie of the Year, which is awesome to see. We may have talked about it a little bit before. Let's see what I'm sure what IndyCar said about the last race. Oh wait, we talked about this last week. So let's go to NASCAR instead of IndyCar. I'm gonna hit my vape real quick, guys. Make sure you check scores above. Green Bay scored 7-0. About 2 minutes left in the first. So the last race last weekend was for Illinois 300 at Worldwide Technology Raceway, or Gateway. In Madison, Illinois, it marked the start of the round 16 of a Cup Series playoff. Danny Hamlin claimed a pole position in spectacular fashion, setting a new track record lap at 139.19 miles per hour of 32.3 seconds. He edged out Kyle Larson by a razor-thin margin and led the front row from the race start. The qualifying result was notable because Hamlin has struggled in practice but managed to dial in his car and clinched the pole in clutch fashion, in my opinion. And of note, 9 of the top 10 qualifiers were playoff drivers, highlighting how tight the competition is and how important qualifying performance has become in this playoff format, especially how much more these NASCARs have become stock cars and stock car racing. The next race is the Bass Pro Shops night race at Bristol Motor Speedway. Cool name, and I like night races. Prime time this Saturday, September 13th at Bristol Motor Speedway for a night race. It'll be another crucial showdown of around the 16. I also like night race and short track. Bristol short track and heavy concentration of corner braking and traffic will test teams differently. Drivers with good pit strategy, clean restarts, and short track grit could pull ahead. A trending storyline on what to watch. At Hamlin's pole dominance with a track record, back-to-back poles, including last week in Darlington. Hamlin is showing how he's not just a threat on race day, but in qualifying too. And how does Bristol will show, and how he does in Bristol will show whether that qualifying momentum translates into playoff race wins. The trucks are already racing right now. That's funny. So Hamlin won, he got first. Briscoe got second. Elliott third. Ryan Blaney fourth. Let's go. Joey Logano fifth. Nemechek sixth. Bell seventh. Bubba Wallace eighth. Chris Boucher ninth. Ty Gibbs 10th. William Byron 11th. Kyle Larson, best driver in the world, Yuck 12th. Pierce 13th. McDowell 14th. Hoover 15th. Tyler Reddick 16th. Kozlowski 17th. Dillon 18th. Cindric 19th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 20th. Let's see who DNF'd. Ty Dillon, Suarez, and Barry. Rip. Alex Bowman got 29th. SVG got 25th. Ross Chastain 24th. So not a good day for a lot of people. Yeah, Hunter's saying he's having software issues. Bowman's pit crew shakeup. Alex Bowman's team has made big changes behind the scenes, new tire changes, dragmen, etc. after costly pit mistakes that hurt him in recent races. I think that's smart. One thing that made Jimmy Johnson very well in his time was his pit crew. Obviously, it's way different guys, different lead than back in the day. 148 was driven by Jimmy Johnson and the Lowe's team, and now it's Li and Alex Bowman in the 48 car. It's going to be huge at Bristol, where clean pit work often means everything. These short tracks, that's kind of how you get it with the time. Playoff cutoff pressure for round 16 rolls on. Some drivers are staying close to the elimination line. Every practice, qualifying, and fuel strategy becomes more critical. How much teams could spend on strategy and getting their strategists ready for the races. Points, stage finishes, and consistency are more critical than ever and crucial. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this weekend with NASCAR. The standings right now, we're going to go 16th above. 16th is Josh Berry. 15th is Alex Bowman, 48 we were just talking about. 14th SVG. 13th Austin Dillon. Cutoff line is what we said. 4 drivers are eliminated after Bristol. Might be the 4 drivers I just said. Then we have Aston Cindric in 12th. 11th Ross Chastain. 10 Joey Logano. 9th Chase Elliott. 8th Chris Bell. 7th Tyler Reddick. 6th William Byron, number 44. 5 Ryan Blaney. 12. number 12. Number 4, or in 4th, is Bubba Wallace, number 23. 3 is Kyle Larson in 5th. Number 5, in 2 is Chase Briscoe at driving number 19. First, Denny Hamlin, driving number 11 car. Right now, Kyle Larson's 60 points. Bubba Wallace, 50 points. Kind of already went over IndyCar and some news about that. We'll be going into F1 and the Formula 1 standings after the Italian 2 Grand Prix. We have a Monza Grand Prix for Italy. Oscar Piastri is still in first. His points are 324. He's about 31 points away from Lando Norris, who's in second. Max Verstappen's in third. He's 63 points away from Lando Norris. Then we have George Russell, Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton in 6th, Alexander Albon in 7th, AJ Kimi Antonelli in 8th, Isaac Hadjar at 9th, Nico Hulkenberg 10th, Lance Stroll 11th, Fernando Alonso 12th, Esteban Ocon 13th, Pierre Gasly 14th, Liam Lawson 15th, Gabriel Bortoleto 16th, Oliver Berman 17th, Carlos Sainz 18th, Yuki Tsunoda 19th, Franco Colapinto 20th. For the drivers, McLaren's way ahead in the lead at 617. Ferrari's in second at 280. Mercedes is only 20 points away though from Ferrari in 260. Red Bull is 21 points away from Mercedes in fourth. Then we have Williams, Aston Martin, Mason Bowles, Sauber, Haas, and Alpine. Next weekend will be the Qatar Airways Azerbaijan Grand Prix for F1. Starts in a week. Free practice 1 for that will be Friday at 4:30 a.m. Free practice 2, Friday at 8 a.m. Free practice 3, Saturday, September 20th at 4:30 a.m. Qualifying, Saturday, September 20th at 8 a.m. The race is Sunday, September 21st at 7 a.m. This is a street course that has a circuit length of about 6 kilometers. A total length throughout the race about 306 kilometers or 51 laps, 20 turns counterclockwise, and it was established in 2016. It's in Baku City. It's in Baku, the city of Baku in Azerbaijan. The lap record is Sebastian Vettel in 2017. They have 2 DRS zones, not too long. I actually really like this course, especially if you like driving on video games and car simulators. It's a very tight one to drive, but very fast and fun. Lots of straights, lots of quick turns in some areas, but small DRS zones. The DRS zones are between the straights in turn 20 and 1, and then turn 2 and 3. But very short. I'm talking about what happened in F1 last weekend. We have Piastri's Charge, Monza Speed, and Rookie Rambles. So last weekend, Max Verstappen ended up winning, and it was kind of a crazy race because it was in Italy, and he does well. He's won 3 out of the last 4 of these Monza races, but he basically won by 19 seconds, which was insane. Second was Lando Norris, third Oscar Piastri, fourth Charles Leclerc, fifth George Russell, sixth Lewis Hamilton. So the Ferraris got 4th and 6th at home soil. Albon in 7th. Bortoleto 8th, Kimi Antonelli 9th, Hadjar at 10th, Carlos Sainz Jr. 11th, Oliver Behrman 12th, Yuki Tsunoda 13th, Liam Lawson 14th, Ocon 15th, Gasly 16th, Colapinto 17th, Stroll 18th, Alonso 19th, DNF, Hulkenberg 20th, DNF. So what was really interesting is that if I'm not mistaken, Piastri got pole. Orlando got pole. Let me see who got pole. He claimed a pole, wow. So yeah, Max did a record-breaking lap to get the pole, and then he ended up winning the race, which is insane. It's the fastest lap in history and a new record at Monza. Margin to P2, however, was .077 seconds. So what happened was Max kitted out his car in low downforce, which really helped him in this race, helped him win, and he was able to handle it during the race as well, which is good. It's scary because we saw how even with Red Bull not doing well, they still won in Vegas last year, so they could win in some of these high speed tracks, um, especially with a low downforce kit, which isn't the best. Let me go back to Guardian scores real quick. If you're enjoying the content as well, make sure you could drop a like. You could do that on YouTube. It's right below the video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, because if you subscribe and ring the little bell on the bottom right of a video, and do all, whenever we go live, you'll get a notification on your phone. We always go live at 8:30 for this show and our week ahead news show, which will be Monday, and we're trying to get the Healthy Living Show back here this Sunday, unless I'm too busy. A lot of people online and commentators have been saying, this Max stuff has been showing that he's a GOAT. It's interesting. Max is still young, but he's old in F1, so to me it depends on how long he could sustain this. If he could win every once in a while for another 5 years until he's 40, like Lewis. Lewis was able to win a race when he was 39. So I don't know if there's that many race drivers able to do that. And Charles hasn't won this year, so that's sad. So Lewis isn't going to win. But if he win when he's 41 next year, it would be crazy. So for top of a first with one out, the Guardians are down 2-1, but we're at bat. Going over our last scores, kind of like I said before, since our last... I told you Kansas City scores. We lost yesterday, won Tuesday, won Wednesday. We're losing right now, though, and we need to win the series. Tampa Bay, who we played from last Thursday through Sunday. Last Sunday we won. Last Friday we won, and Sunday, Saturday, and Friday we won. So last weekend we beat all the games against the Rays, and we lost them Thursday. So we basically went 3-1 against them, which is fine. 4-game series. We really needed that, and that's how we're at that 74-1 record right now. We play Kansas City. We're playing Kansas City right now. This weekend we play the White Sox. So Friday at 7, Saturday at 6:10, Sunday at 1:40, and then we'd have 1 day break. Tuesday through Thursday next week we play Detroit. Then we play the Twins, and then next week, on the 23rd through the 25th, we play the Tigers. 26th through the 28th, to end the season, we play the Rangers. So these are teams that are not that good. Detroit's pretty decent right now, I know, and we have to play them twice, which really sucks. The Twins, we always kind of do iffy with, but let me check for wild card real quick before we head on out. So Detroit's leading our division with 84 wins. We've played them twice. We're tied with Kansas City. However, we're above Kansas City for one less loss. Chicago has 57 wins, and the Twins have 64. So this should be decent. We actually might be able to get some wins out of this. In the wild card, right now, in the American League, only Chicago's eliminated. But we have New York with 80 wins, Boston with 81, Seattle with 78, Texas with 77, who will play at the end, hopefully get some of the wins down, and we actually might get past them. However, we have Kansas City below us, Tampa Bay below us. Kansas City 74-72, Tampa Bay 72-74, and then past that it's like Baltimore, LA, and they have 69 wins. I did not know LA was having that bad of a year with how good of a team they have. Maybe injuries, I'd have to look it up. But I do know a lot of their team went to the Dodgers, so that sucks. That's actually it for me, folks. A little bit of a shorter one this week. I did want to talk about Browns a little bit. I guess I can cover that. They lost their first game of the year. It was very close, though. Let me pull up that. So we only lost by 1. Browns fell just short of 1 point in week 1, losing 17-16 in Cincinnati. Bengals at Huntington Field Bank. Joe Flacco had one of his best outings, 290 passing yards, 1 touchdown, married by 2 though married by 2 interceptions, which is bad. Without those picks, we could have won, and he's a vet. He shouldn't be throwing picks. Rookie kicker, Andrew, can't say that last name, had a rough debut. He missed an extra point after a touchdown and later missed a 36-yard field goal that could have shifted momentum and helped us win the game. That's Browns being the Browns, though. Time and time again, we'll see it. They're like the Ferrari of the NFL. Defense held up in parts, limiting the Bengals' offense, forcing critical stops. Defensive end Myles Garrett had back-to-back sacks to give Cleveland life in the fourth. Browns nearly drove for the win in the final 2 minutes, but Flacco's pass intended for Cedric Tillman got picked off when tipped by the Bengals. That ended their chance. Mostly frustration at missed opportunities, but some optimism. Offensive showed life, but the defensive kept them in it, and the games were decided by small margins. And that's kind of what Browns is. It always adds up, because that's how a bad team with bad coaching is. But if your kicker would have done well, you would have won. If your quarterback would throw maybe one less pick, we would have won. So we definitely need to be working on that. For takeaways, for rookies kicker, massive looms large. Misses looms large. Extra points and low-pressure kicks become magnified in tight games. Can he bounce back? Flacco still shows flashes. He had 300 yards, but then 2 picks at 40. He's not perfect, but his arm and decision kept Cleveland competitive. He did do decent. 2 picks hurt, but yardage and composure in parts were solid. We do have a little bit of a new offensive line in front of him. Agreed, Mom. Thank you for watching. I love you guys. Make sure you drop a like if you're enjoying. Thank you for watching. Helps out a ton. Rookie leadership, Shedeur Sanders got attention. Not just for play, but for gesture after one of Smit's misses. Counseling him, showing early edge of team culture and leadership. Betting and perception shift for Browns open as underdogs for the next game as Ravens after the loss. Odds makers see that task ahead. So once again, we'll week 2 preview. Browns at Ravens. Kickoff for Sunday. We travel to Baltimore at 1 p.m. Big storyline is Joe Flacco returns to Baltimore as a visiting QB. He spent many seasons with the Ravens, so this is potentially an emotionally charged game for him. Hopefully he'll do well and have a fire under his ass. The Ravens, however, lost their opener in dramatic fashion, so both teams are 0-1. Yeah, the Ravens choked hard and looking to bounce back. That levels the emotional playing field somewhat, especially with how week 1s are. What the Browns need to fix and what to watch. Special teams we obviously need to fix with Smith's had to regain confidence, and the coaching staff probably will emphasize more work here. Missed kicks equals missed wins. Turnover margins, with Flacco's 2 picks are being costly and playing on the road, especially in a tough place like Baltimore. You can't gift extra possessions, especially to a good team and good offense like Baltimore with Derrick Henry. They'll run out the clock and still score. Tight end and receiver connections. Tillman had a big moment, but being able to rely more on just a couple of targets will spread the Ravens' defense. We need more people to attack. Defensive continuity. If Garrett, the pass rush, and secondary can force errors, as they somewhat did versus Cincinnati, then the Browns could stay in games even if the offense sputters. And that is it for me, guys. I really appreciate you watching. Make sure if you're ever bored, watch some of our older videos. Once again, every week we do this show for Northeast Ohio Sports Show with me and Hunter. Hunter couldn't make it, was having Discord issues tonight at 8:30. Streaming. We also post on our Facebook, which you could follow in the description. And we have a week ahead a week ahead news show on Monday, with me and my friend Tommy. Really good shows. We're gonna be trying to doing healthy living, so make sure you stay on our Facebooks for that. Or like I said, if you subscribe to us and ring that little notification bell below the video at the bottom right, and put all notifications on whenever we go live, you'll be notified. You won't lose time. That's what I do for a lot of people I like on YouTube, so it's pretty normal. And it helps me out. It definitely does. And getting consistent views is great. Getting 2 consistent views right now. Got 2 likes. Really appreciate that, guys. That's it for me, guys. Have a great night, Ohio. One more day, and then we got for weekend. We can get some relaxing done. Friday, and that's it. Got some NASCAR going this weekend. Back to NFL. Here in October, we'll be having the NHL and NBA kicking off. F1's off this week, so that's why I said Azerbaijan. I'm not setting below me. I have the F1 race from last week. Next week, I'll have a week set up for the next race, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And IndyCar's over, so let's keep going to NASCAR playoffs. Have a great night, everybody.